Okay, we are doing third order systems of equations today. So far, all of the systems of equations we've done have been second order, meaning they have an x and a y, and you're solving for x and y only. Now, we have x and y and z that we get to solve for. So, instead of having two equations with two unknowns, we have three equations with three unknowns. So here's what I want you guys to keep in mind as you go through this. We start out with three equations and three unknowns. We want to get those three equations down to two equations with two unknowns, and then that two equations to one, and then go all the way back up to 2 to 3. Okay? So what exactly does that look like? We're about to go through it. All right, so here we go. I will say this. Most of the mistakes in these types of problems come from either not copying the problem down correctly or losing your place. That's it. If you know how to do the math, and you all know how to do the math, it's nothing different than what we've done before. They're actually really easy, but it's easy to get disorganized. All right, so here we go. We're going to label our equations 1, 2, 3. Okay? Here's what I want you all to be looking at right off of the bat. So the way that we started these problems when we had two equations with two unknowns is we would see if we added any together, would anything cancel out? So you guys tell me. If we add, I don't know, equations 1 and 2 together, does anything cancel out? If we add equations 2 and 3 together, or 1 and 3, so what do you guys think?
1 and 3.
2 and 3, I agree. So what's going to cancel out in 2 and 3? Good. So we're going to start there. So this is the organization piece. Actually, right over here, equations 2 and 3, combining them together. So we're going to do x plus y plus 2z. Make sure you all can see the y. You like how my line went over to the, on a slant there? That's because we need space for this problem. And then 2x minus y minus 3z equals 6. Okay, so somebody tell me, for extra credit, what happens if I add these two equations together? What is the resulting equation when I add these two together? Michael?
3x.
Okay. Good.
Minus z equals 7.
Good. Everybody give it up for Michael. Good job, Michael. 3x minus z equals 7. Okay, now, here's where we are. We just went from 3 equations to 1. We need another equation to combine with this one. Meaning, we want to go back up to the drawing board, so to speak, and find another 2 equations to combine so that the y's cancel out. We want the y's to cancel out because we need the same 2 variables down here. So does anyone have any suggestions about 2 different equations up at the top?
1 and 2, you can multiply the 2 by 4.
Excellent. Everybody give it up for Lydia. Everybody give it up for Lydia. So what Lydia said was we can combine equations 1 and 2. So if we're looking up at the top, 1 and 2, and if we multiply equation 2 by 4, then the y's in that one will cancel out. Does that make sense to everybody? Clap if that makes sense. Awesome. So 3x minus 4y minus z equals 3. Do we want to just multiply everything through right now so we don't have to rewrite it?
Yes.
Can someone give me the equation 2 as it's multiplied by 4? Okay, Lydia, go ahead.
4x plus 4y plus 4z equals 4.
8z equals 4. Good. Okay, so somebody tell me when I add these 2 equations together, what I get? Rachel.
7x.
Okay, good.
7z.
Excellent. Everybody give it up for Rachel. Dude, that was the weakest cheer ever. Okay, so anybody have any ideas what we're going to do next? Jade.
Solve for either x or do you? Oh, you put them back together.
Good. Put these 2 back together.
And then you solve for x or z.
Excellent. Everybody give it up for Jade. 7x. Okay. All right, 7x plus 7z equals 7. Okay, so what do I do now? If I want to solve this for either x or z, what do I do? Kendra.
Multiply the top one by 7.
Good. Multiply the top by 7. once we figure out what one of the variables is, it actually ends up being super easy. It's just getting to that one. All right, so who can tell me when I multiply 7 through there, what I end up with for an equation? So this is our 3 to 2. Now we're on 2 to 1. Akashni?
You get 21x minus 7z equals 49.
Okay, everybody give it up for Akashni. Okay. Then, all right, so what happens when I add them together? Can someone tell me what I get when I add these equations together? Jade?
20x
Good.
equals 56.
Excellent. Everybody give it up for Jade. All right, now we're down to the 1. If we're following our chart here, now we're down to the 1 equation, 1 unknown. How do I get x by itself? Everybody, what do I do here?
Divide by 8.
Good. Fortunately, that is divisible. And I will say on these problems, if you end up getting fractions, something definitely went wrong somewhere. These are cruel problems to have fractions in, okay? So keep an eye out for that. All right, now we have x. What do we do with it?
Plug it in.
Plug it in. Plug it into what?
X plus y plus.
Okay, now, what do you guys think? Would it make sense to go back and plug it up into one of the equations with 3 unknowns?
Oh, no.
Or one that only has 2 unknowns so we can get another one?
Oh, so you put it into
Okay,
3x
so-
minus z equals 7.
Okay, so good. So plug it into 3x minus z equals 7. So we're going to take the 2 that we just got for x and plug it in. So now we're going back to the 2. So this is 3 to 2 to 1 to 2, and then we're going to take those 2 and put them back into 3. So 3 times 2 minus z equals 7. Okay. 6 minus z equals 7. All right, who can solve this for me? What do I do? Hannah.
Subtract 6.
Excellent. So negative z equals 1. And then the last step, Hannah? Excellent. Everybody give it up for Hannah. 1. Thanks. All right, now we have x and we have z. What do we do with x and z now? Plug it in. Now we're at this very final step where we have two of our variables solved for. We want to go back to one of the equations that has 3 variables and get the last one that we're missing, which is y. Does anyone have which one? 2. Okay, good. Kendra, y the second equation. Does it matter which one we plug it into? No? Okay, I agree with that. So what am I plugging in where? Can someone fill in the blanks here? Josephine. Good. Y we're still missing. 2, or z is what? Excellent. All right, so now we get, go ahead. What's 2 minus 2? 0, so that goes away. So y equals 1. So you want to put it, very good, everybody give it up for Josephine. So your final answer, you should have 3 coordinates. You put x first, then y, then z. So it should be 2, then 1, then negative 1. All right. Any questions on this?
No.
Do we want to go through another example?
Yeah.
How do you really feel? Okay. You understand? All right, then. Understand perfectly. This is homework number 21. This is really good practice for the types of problems you guys will get for homework in calculus. Notice how that took us about a page and a quarter. That's calculus for you. Fine. Calculus is a wonderful, wonderful class. I love it.
It took Michael not even half a page.
Oh my, if we have small handwriting, that's true. All right, so there is your homework. Everybody go ahead and get out a textbook and get...
Did you pick ones that won't give us fractions?
Yes, they should not have fractions.